Let's say, get this camera all set up right. Alright. This is going to be ASMR drinking coffee, eating candy. Do you know what these are? These are Italian jellies. I got this 2-pound bag on Amazon for 20 bucks. Alright, let's show this to you. Alright, see this? Look at that, isn't that cool? This camera does not have autofocus, so, but that's in Italian. It's a candy in Italian. So, I might eventually, so this is the microphone I'm using right now. Hello. Using right now. It's a one-way microphone, one channel. It's not dual channel, so you can only hear from one direction. So here and here sound the same. Here we go. Oh, Italian jelly. A little sour. They're sour, more sour than I thought they would be. Like, you know those fruit wedges you get at like Walgreens and stuff? Those aren't sour in the least. These are actually pretty sour. Beautiful. This is Hillsborough Dark Satin coffee. I drink my coffee black. I'm not a big fan of. Okay, so this is my alma mater, Louisiana Tech University. Louisiana Tech University. Louisiana Tech University. I also have one of the things I really hate is when people rub their hands together and their hands are dry. Oh, I cannot handle that. My hands are always moist. Well, it's because I don't know why, but dry skin sounds are really irritating to me. They're like nails on a chalkboard to me. So I constantly keep my hands moisturized, because if I don't, they start getting all dry and like papery, and I hate that. I absolutely hate that. Yeah, so if you can see, there's a little bit of a chip right here in my cup. That happened like a year ago, and I fixed it with glue, and it's been like that for the last year or so. Alright, should I open my monster? Oh, that's a little loud. Or should I eat an Andes Mint? Like I said, I got the candy, I got the Happy Cola, I got the bubble gum, I got the Andes, I got the taffy, I got the Ricola. Oh, I love the Ricola. This is my favorite cough drop. I even though I don't cough that much, I eat these. They're good. And of course, I got the jellies. I did the math, and the jellies come out to about 15 cents a piece. I like doing math. Whenever I get something, whenever I buy something in bulk, I do the math. I did the math and count how much I paid for each unit. So I recently got a scooter, an electric scooter, and it goes pretty fast. It goes like 20 miles an hour. Of course, I wear a helmet, but today I took a minor spill. All I got was a little scrape on my knee, but it scared the crap out of me. I was like, oh my god, ah! Yeah. So. Yeah, so I'm doing ASMR again. Do you like the voice fry, or do you like the whispering? If you like me speaking like this instead of speaking like this, you better just tell me, because I'm not entirely certain which one sounds better. Because when I listen to my own voice, I don't really get ASMR. I don't think you can get ASMR from your own voice. Yeah, I don't think you can get ASMR from your own voice. I've never been able to do it. Although it's been like at least 4 years since I last felt the tingles. I watch ASMR on a daily basis, and it's been 4 years since I last felt the tingles. Maybe even 5. 5 at this point. Tingle immunity. And none of those tingle immunity videos work. That's why, you know what? One of my least favorite titles for videos is when they claim it can solve tingle immunity. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. That does not happen. Sadly enough, I haven't tingled in like 12 years. Not 12, 5. Did I say 12? I mean 5. I haven't tingled in 5 years. If you like this voice better, just tell me. Okay? If you like the voice fry or if you like the whispering. I feel like a lot of people whisper a lot of times, and it's a pretty generic sound. It doesn't really work the way I like Dr. T ASMR. He's my favorite. He has my favorite ASMR voice. But the problem is that his videos, he doesn't talk that much. Yeah, he doesn't talk that much in his videos. So his voice is like, oh my gosh, I am so low. Yeah, I'm not entirely certain how that works. You must have really long vocal cords. My vocal cords are relatively, sorry for the little sound. My vocal cords are relatively long. I mean, as far as low voices go, I've got a pretty low voice, but I also listen to Raffy Taffy. Okay, Raffy Taffy has the best whisper voice. Dr. T ASMR has the best voice fry, and Raffy Taffy ASMR has the best whispering voice. And then Ephemeral Rift. Oh my gosh, Mr. Rift. So Ephemeral Rift has the most inventive ASMR channel. So reward for the most inventive ASMR channel goes to Ephemeral Rift. That's as far as I can tell. He never runs out of ideas. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he never runs out of ideas. It's absolutely just insane how crazy his ideas are. Like, you have to go watch his channel to understand. It's, oh my god, it's just absolute bonkers. This one is Le Bonnet Gelis Limon. Al gusto del limón. Al gusto del limón. Smells like lemon. Probably sour like lemon too. Good stuff. Subway though. The Subway restaurant, oh, they're so expensive. It's like $10 for a footlong and a soda. Like, whatever happened to $5 footlongs? I mean, whatever happened to $5 footlongs is what I'm wondering. Although considering the rate of inflation, a $5 footlong probably is like a $7 or $8 footlong in today's currency. If you're wondering where I'm looking, I got my screen right here, my camera right here. I don't know why I chose that. I just don't like the front on webcam view because it just feels so generic. You know, it's like a front on. I'm gonna be so caffeinated tonight. Coffee and Monster. Woo-wee. I'm gonna be caffeinated out the ass tonight. Oh my god, there's no way I'm going to sleep. Well, I always go to sleep at 10 because my schizophrenia medication makes me very sleepy. So it doesn't matter how much caffeine I drink. I can drink a gallon of coffee half an hour before bed, and I'd still fall asleep. That's just how it works. When I was in college, and I had my own car, in the mornings when I would drive to school, I would still have a medicine hangover, and I was always very sleepy. I'm surprised I didn't die, considering how sleepy I was behind the wheel in the mornings when I was on Seroquel. So, right now I'm on Clozaril, or Clozapine. I forget which one's the generic and which one's the brand. But, well, I did study to be a pharmacy technician, so I never actually ended up becoming a pharmacy technician, but I did pass the exam. It's been more than 2 years, though. Yeah, I passed it in April 2019. So, at this point, I'd probably have to take it again. Ooh. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so one of the things about schizophrenia is that your mind can't hold on to information that well. So, my mind holds on to archival information very well. My mind is a big archive. So how my mind works, it's like a wiki page. My mind's like a wiki page. You take an object in my mind, an idea, it pops up like feather. And I have it in my head. It's like a model. It's like a 3D model. It's like a hyperspatial model. And I jump around this hyperspatial model and I go like, whoop. And do you know that the individual strands of a feather have little hooks that hook onto each part of the feather? That's why when you unfeather a feather, it never comes back the right way because the hooks, like Velcro, have been turned off. And then I go, whoop, and it's like feather pens and whoop. And what's heavier, a pound of feathers or a pound of steel or a pound of bricks? Whoop. Feathers on birds, whoop. Floating like a feather, air resistance. My brain does that. It just goes, like super connectivity. But the problem is that sometimes my train of thought, I have constantly a train of thought going along in my head. It's not like one of those uncontrolled train of thoughts. My train of thought is very controlled. It's like on tracks. And sometimes my train derails and I was like, oh my god, I drop. Like I just literally mentally drop my train of thought. It's like, what the fuck was I just thinking about? Like I'll be just standing there silently, watching a movie or going to church and watching the sermon. All of a sudden my train of thought will just go, and it's like, oh my god, what the fuck was I just thinking about? Oh my god, I can't even remember what I was thinking about before I was thinking about that. And so I try to retrace my steps. I go back to the last remembered location, and I go, all right, well, right now I was thinking about deer, and then over here John Deere and the John Deere tractors, and I was thinking about lawnmowers, and eventually, sometimes I'm thinking about 25% of the time, I get back to where I was before I dropped the train of thought. So that's schizophrenia for you. Most people don't know this, but schizophrenia has negative symptoms as well as positive symptoms. I haven't had positive symptoms in years, 4 years now, but negative symptoms, I still experience those. Anhedonia is one of them, like the lack of motivation to do things. I know this may sound weird, but if you like the sound of burping, I could do a burping ASMR video. That's something new. That's something that probably no one's ever done before. The burping ASMR. I don't know if you've gotten this far. You obviously like my videos, but So yeah, schizophrenia has negative symptoms. Negative symptoms. And one of those negative systems is just sometimes my train of thought goes, it derails. You know, like there's a French resistance inside my head that's derailing my trains. Do you know about the French resistance, though, right? And in World War II, Germany occupied France, and then there was, well, a lot of stories behind that. You know, one of my favorite things to think about is number one, how Germany could have survived the battle with Russia, and number two, what would have happened if Germany and Russia stayed allies for the entire war? Wouldn't that have been scary? Can you imagine what it would have been like to have Germany? I know, ideologically, communism and fascism are totally different. They would have fought no matter what. But what would have happened if Russia and Germany fought together and continued to fight together? Like, if you add Russia's huge industrial power with Germany's, like, phew, Jesus Christ, that would have been horrible. But, you know, it turned out how it did. So, like I said, one of my favorite things to do is to think about how Russia or how Germany could have finished invading Russia. The more I learn about the campaign, the more I realize that it was a lost cause from the beginning. They started too late. That winter was very cold, very wet. That winter, like I said, my hands, they get all papery. Ugh. Yeah. So, yeah. So Germany, right, invades Russia, right? Why does Germany invade Russia? Because Hitler had a plan where he was going to grow food for Germans. Like, it was about food, I think. And fuel and food. But, you know, in the end, Germany never could have beaten Russia. Russia and Germany were always going to fight. I'm just happy it turned out the way it did. So one of the things I experienced while I was schizophrenic was how the world avoided nuclear war. And I think what happens with schizophrenic people is that sometimes the schizophrenic people grab on to the fabric of reality. And they're like rudders. So it's a very weird analogy. Schizophrenic people download possible futures, or they see possible futures, and psychically they do work to prevent those futures from happening. So a schizophrenic person thinks they're being chased by Russians. Well, it's very hard unless you've actually been up there. But I think that schizophrenic people are like an ozone layer, a reality ozone layer. Like, their collective, the collective psychosis of the world's schizophrenics protects it. Like a layer of conscious noise that isolates the rest of humanity. And I think the reason why schizophrenia happens is that it's a necessary defense against cosmic invasion. So, like, the schizophrenic people, they fight the war of the cosmos. They're warriors in the fight against psychic invasion. I think because FTL communication is psychic. So FTL communication, I learned this from my schizophrenia, is psychic. And we would be experiencing a lot of cyber attacks, like mental cyber attacks, if it weren't for the defense put up by schizophrenics. And I think schizophrenics are the ones who control the path of our reality. All the bad stuff that could manifest into horrible futures are absorbed by the schizophrenics. That wasn't very ASMR, was it? Oh, that was it. That was the end. ASMR. Tell me if you like my new ASMR style. Tell me if you like my whispering. If you would like me to whisper like this more often, do tell me.